So today we're back to circles. A couple lessons ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we did a thing with circles that involved pi. Does anybody remember what we used pi to figure out on circles? The direction said, find the blank.
Perimeter?
Perimeter had a special name. That's very much the right idea.
Diameter?
The diameter was used, but the name of the perimeter of a circle had a special name. Circumference. So a few days ago, the directions were find the circumference. Circumference is the perimeter for a circle. We used the diameter to do that. What did we do with the diameter to get the circumference figured out? Never mind. Yeah.
Multiplied by pi.
We multiplied by pi. Pi was kind of a crazy number. What was kind of crazy about pi?
It never ends.
It never ends. And it also never repeats any kind of pattern. So what did we use for pi just to get kind of close but keep our life from getting too crazy? 3.14 is like close enough for 7th graders. We'll just go with 3.14 for that. Today we're going to do a very similar thing. We're not going to find the circumference around it. We're going to find the area inside of it. So to do the area of a circle, this is one of your more famous formulas in math. Upcoming, there's a day that we're going to memorize some formulas like this. So if you file this one away, you're already 1 point to the head start. When I write this as a formula, the A stands for something, the R stands for something, this symbol stands for something. Let's start here. What's this symbol stand for? Pi, which we just said was what number are we using? 3.14. What do you think the R stands for?
Radius?
The radius. So this formula is telling us we want to take the radius squared. What does it mean to take the radius squared? What are we doing with the radius then?
Multiplying it by 2.
Not times 2, no.
Multiplying itself by itself.
Multiplying it by itself. So if I tell you the radius is 6, we're going to go 6 times 6. I tell you the radius is 11. You'll do 11 times 11. This formula is telling you take the radius squared, meaning radius times itself, get an answer from that, and then times 3.14, and the A stands for, we're finding the
Answer. Area.
area. Okay, so A for area. So this formula is trying to communicate to you with a little bit of math symbols and not so much like a paragraph. To find the area, we're going to multiply pi, 3.14, times the radius squared, meaning radius times itself times 3.14. We've got the area. That would be a really long sentence to write on the board. It's kind of convenient to have some math symbols and just write that in a little space. Question about the idea? So if I tell you the radius is 5, what is the math community expecting you to do?
5 times 5?
5 times 5 makes
25.
25. Take that 25 times 3.14. And we're going to need a little bit of pencil and paper and scratch work and time and take a minute and somebody check back in with me if you take 3.14 times 25. So we got an answer on the board of 97.50 maybe. Let's get either agreement or disagreement from somebody else.
What?
No.
Somebody says no. What do you say?
I say 48.50.
So we got 48.50.
78.1.
We have a 78.50. We have a 78.1. No one agrees with anyone yet. We got another 48.50. We got another 78.50. I'll tell you this, some of you would get half a point and the rest of you are wrong. So no one has yet hit this perfect. Yeah.
Do I take the 0 out?
Okay, taking zeros off will be helpful. So if we take these zeros off, now one of those answers is right, but 4 to choose from.
78.5.
We got another vote for 78.5.
Can I take mine away?
Change vote?
Yeah, it's a 78 point.
Okay, change vote to 78.5. I think you were on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we got some momentum building enough that I feel that I can commit to that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do a quick guesstimate way to do this. Pi is pretty close to 3. Ballpark 3. So 25 times 3 is 75. Pi's a little more than that, so expect to go a little more than 75. 78.5 is correct. I can do that out if people are stuck. If you weren't getting 78.5, try to examine what you did, see if you can produce it. Does anybody need me to do it out so you can see where your error was in the 78.5 production? Okay, your first column should be 1570. You have a 1570 row. Under that, you have a 628, but slid over by one space. Do you understand how I'm saying 628?
I didn't get 62, I got 62.8.
Okay, do you understand though, if I use the 2, I'm gonna go 8, 2, and 6 as I work from right to left? Does that make sense, the 628?
Right.
You get it?
Yeah, I missed it.
Okay, that's fine. Question about that one? So this one, what is it that they're asking you to do for this one?
100 times 100.
100 times 100. You don't need pencil and paper to do out 100 times 100. We have a shortcut for that. How can we do 100 times 100 without pencils and papers?
You do 1 times 1, then you add the zeros.
Yeah, just go 1 times 1 is 1, and then how many zeros total?
4.
4. We get 4 zeros because 100 has 2 zeros. The other 100 has 2 more zeros. We get 4 zeros off of that. If we're going to multiply that by 3.14, you still don't need pencil and paper. We have another trick for that. How can we do 3.14 times 10,000 without any pencil or paper necessary at all?
3.14 times 1, and then you add the zeros, but then you have to, with a decimal place, you have to take 2 zeros away.
Sort of maybe. What do you think the answer is then?
31400.
I agree with that. What I'm thinking in terms of is, since there's 4 zeros, I'm going to bounce this decimal 4 positions, and that'll make 31400. I agree with that. The only thing I might criticize, I don't think I would take off points for this, but I'd probably write the red word fix on your paper. What would I like to see on that to just help me read it a little bit quicker?
Take the zeros out.
Then
Columns.
a comma. Where would a comma drop?
After the 1.
After the 1. A comma drop there would be helpful. Yep. Question about that? This one. How would the math start off for this one then?
9.
You said?
9.
9. How'd you get 9?
3 times
3 times 3. We're going to go radius times itself. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 9 has to multiply 3.14. So let's take a minute, pencil, paper, scratch mark, whatever, get it. See if we get an answer or if we get 5 different answers like last time and eventually take a vote and get there.
28.26.
Okay. I won't commit to that being right, but I will commit to that being in the right size of a range that gives me hope. Because pi is again close to, if we want to keep our life simple, real simple, it's close to
3.
3. 3 times 9 is 27. Pi is a little more than that, so we're expecting to be a little more than 27. So something in that like 27, 28, 29, 30, something in that range feels pretty good.
I agree.
You agree with that?
29.26.
So the 29, 36, that still feels like it's a possible size.
I mean 26.
20, 29, 26?
Yeah.
Okay.
28, 26.
28, 26? 28, 26? 28, 26? Okay, that's a runaway. So maybe there's a carrying mistake or something on that one. It is 28, 26. That is true. Oop, I circled the wrong one. 28.26, that was the winner. You okay on that? Do you see where it went wrong? Anybody question about that one? Here, I won't do it, but if I asked the question and had you yell, some people would yell the wrong thing. What wrong thing would some people yell for us to do on this? And I would potentially, if I were in a different mood, say like, ha ha, gotcha.
They would yell 18 times 18.
Some people would yell, let's do 18 times 18. Because I've been building this up where we did 5 times 5 is 25, 100 times 100 was 10,000, 3 times 3 is 9. I've been creating this whole trend that makes you feel like 18 times 18 is the way to go. And it's not this time. Why is 18 times 18 not the way to go? That's the diameter. This is based on the radius. We do not care today about the diameter. The circumference cared about the diameter. Area cares about the radius. So if I drop you a diameter of 18, you need to get that switched up for a radius of
18.
9. Because the radius is always what relationship? What's up?
It's, 2 times the radius.
Yeah, the diameter is 2 times the radius. So in other words, the radius is what size smaller exactly? Half, it's half. So however you think of it, look at it. That's both true ways to say it. The radius is half the diameter is double the radius. So how does the math start on this one? 9 times 9 gets us 81. We need to take 3.14 times 81. If we want to keep our math simple, this is about 3, this is about 80, that would be about 240. We need to be something a little bit bigger than 240s. 240s, 250s, 260s, something like that. Let me know. I think I know this one.
254.34.
Feels like about the right size. If that is right, maybe I don't know that one because I don't remember that one. You agree with that? So maybe there's a pi times table that I'm forgetting. You agree with that? I must have just forgotten that number. Nothing was ringing a bell real quick for me on that.
Well, I got was different.
What did you get? Let me see if I remember what you say.
I got 56.52 for
Yeah,
that.
that 256?
Yeah, no, just,
It can't just be a 56. We've got to be in the like 250s on this somewhere. You agree with that? Did you get that far? Did you have a, you're with that? Is there anybody that has anything different in the 250s?
no.
Okay. That's probably it then.
Oh, no, no, no.
Never mind? You good on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, if everybody's agreeing, that's probably right. I knew this one. I told you the one day I like know some pi times tables just like by accident, but I don't remember pi times 81 apparently. But I knew that one, and I knew that one, but that one gave me some doubt. Something there? Okay, some of the homework I think is presented to you like that. Some of the homework will be presented to you in a little table. I think they'll do better column headings than I did, but R stands for radius, D stands for diameter. Let's do those first. If radius is 6, diameter must be 12. Diameter's the big one. So if diameter's 8, what's radius?
4.
4. If radius is 7,
14.
diameter 14. If diameter 20, radius
10.
10, I agree. Question about how to hop back and forth with those at all? Then let's do what we did today. The area is based on which of them?
Radius.
Radius, but not just radius, we have to do the radius
Squared.
squared. So how are we going to do this one?
3.14 times 6.
This is 3.14 not times 6. 36. We'll come back to that in a second. How would we do this one? 3.14 times
16.
16. This one is 3.14 times 49. This is 3.14 times
100.
100. Let's segment this out into groups. So There's 4 of these, there's 11 of you. Why don't you two do this one and like agree with each other, and then somebody check in with me? Why don't you two do this one, agree with each other, check in with me? Why don't all 3 of you there do this one, agree with each other, and then somebody check in with me? And then why don't we do you like 4 around that bend, just have a little group conversation, agree with each other, and then somebody check in with me on that.
I got 113.04.
$113.04.
113.04.
You
We
guys
got
agree?
113.04.
I agree with 113.04. You good? So you say 50.24? I agree with that.
It's too easy, man. It's too easy. You know that? You know who said that in a game, NBA game?
This one is
He scored a
314.
layup.
Oh, that's right.
He scored a layup on I think Clint Capella.
I
He's
thought it
like,
was yours.
man, come on, man, that's too easy.
Didn't you do the same thing to yours?
I'm praying.
Yeah, I got that too.
Check it somebody else.
Yeah.
Trying. Remember,
Come on, Jay, we got this.
Aaron, remember, what's his name, when that happened? Three and John Wall. Or was it 3?
Three's kind of Steph Curry did really much. John Morant's shooting.
Anybody have a question about
this.
anything while we're waiting for that last one?
What a, you see that catch? It rolled off. I tipped it this way and I caught it like this. It was a cigarette. Yeah, cigarette.
I agree with 153.86. Now let's take a step into the Wayback Machine and go back about 2 weeks. For circumference, we did multiply pi, but by what?
Cube.
No. No. What did we multiply pi by to get the circumference? We said it a couple minutes ago, we did this a couple weeks ago. Not the radius,
Diameter.
diameter. We need to take pi times the diameter. So this problem needs to be 3.14 times
12.
12. This is 3.14 times
8.
8. 3.14 times 14. 3.14 times 20. Let's do the same breakdown. So we'll go you 2 pair up on the first one, you 2 pair up on the second one, you 3 pair up on the third one. We'll do that whole corner of the world to pair up on that last one. I guess not pair up, get partner up.
I got 37.68. Wait, well we have to memorize that A equals thing.
Eventually you will, but not yet.
Did you say?
Someday we're going to do a quiz soon that has a lot of different formulas for areas of all
Oh,
different
so those aren't
shapes.
notes?
Triangles and squares and rectangles. There's a formula for an area of like every shape that we'll memorize soon.
37.68?
That's what we got, 37.68.
I agree with 37.68.
43.96. That's what I got. Wait, what am I doing? I don't know.
You know why in the handshake? It goes like this, watch. Your hand out.
43.96, you guys all agree?
You're gonna get it wrong.
We working
It is,
that
I'm
side
gonna
still? We
You're
got
gonna go
it?
like this.
62.8 is true.
Look, sir, how you doing? Do it.
You agree with each other
I
now?
have one with Wyatt.
I agree with all of that. Question about circles. Circles is the main theme of the day. We're going to do one more quick thing, but that's the main group. You know, some days I like to double up lessons. There's another lesson that's kind of like this. The book finally is telling you something that I told you about, I think, in September. So the book hasn't been telling us this until now. They've been writing 20 square feet like this the whole year. I told you a long time ago you could write 20 square feet another way. And they are going to finally like get into that in one of these lessons. So we'll do a quick group of letters to just make sure you know this. 20, then put feet, and then a little 2. So instead of the square in the middle, you could just put yourself a little 2. 18 cubic meters. What's the other way? We've been writing that for a long time. 18 meters, put a little 3. Then they're going to give you a couple simple math problems to do, and then you have to decide whether to put a little 2 or a little 3. So if they go 6 inches times 2 inches, the number is going to become 12. They'll still want the inches. And then what do you think you should put?
2,
Why 2?
because it's square.
Yeah, even more obvious than that.
There's 2 numbers.
There's 2 of them. So if we go 8 meters times 3 meters times 2 meters, the numbers will result in us getting
48.
48. You can multiply in any order you want. 2 times 3 is 6, times 8 is 48. Get the meters in there. And then we're going to put a little, somebody whispered it, I think. Put a little 3. Why put a little 3?
There's 3 numbers.
There's 3 of them. Oh, shocking. If we go back up a level, they might ask you to do this in some of the other homework. If I came in here and told you that the radius was 100 meters, the area would be what kind of meters on the areas? Regular meters or square meters or cube meters? How does area go?
Square meters?
Square meters. So if they just say 5, you can just say the number. But if they say 3 inches, you need to remember your inches and to square your inches. That's going to be around. So if we go back to this and I tell you this is centimeters, then this has to be centimeters, and this has to be centimeters, and this has to be centimeters. Are any of those centimeters going to be special kinds of centimeters to cubes or squares? Which?
The area.
Area always gets 2's. So again, if they just do a number, the whole rest of the problem, you just do numbers. You don't do any of the squares or try to make up words. But if they want to drop you in a mile and have a giant circle, everybody's got to have a mile in there, but then the one that's special is always area gets a 2. Don't put the little 2's though unless they put the miles. Like on this one, if they just put numbers, I'm just going numbers. I'm not going to put this. What does it mean if I put this? And this is not what we mean.
314 times 314.
Yeah, this would mean to take 314 times another 314. We don't want to do that. We don't mean to do that. You don't put the square on the numbers. You put the square on the unit, the system of measurement is where the square goes if they do. So we're going to go to two locations. 309 is a quick hit. The 309 letters is all we're going to do on 309. 309, the letters, is just some simple problems like this to see, make sure you know when to use the little 2's and when to use the little 3's. Okay, squares make 2's, cubes make 3's. If there's 2 numbers, split 2's. If there's 3 numbers, split 3. But 309, we're going letters A through F. The main homework page is back on set UU. You're probably already still on that page maybe from before. Set UU is laid out like this table that we did. They're going to give you either the radius or the diameter, one of them, and then they expect you to just do everything else. So UU is the main deal, 309, just the letters, and that is a wrap. Hit the old stop. Thank you.